So you're able to see the screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So Bayesian belief networks. This is again one of the very important topic with respect to your Bayes theorem. Like the entire third module, this is again one of the very important topic where you'll get a lot of problem solving. Okay. You'll have a lot of problems as given to you and you have to solve it. Okay. So the theoretical basically is little, whereas the practicality of Bayesian belief networks is more. Okay. Let's begin ahead. What is this Bayesian belief networks? Okay. It is one of the probabilistic graphical representation model. Okay, till now we were checking, okay, what is the probabilities? Naive-Bayes classifiers, we were getting the probabilities of each and every test cases that was given to us with the training data. We used to get those probabilities, apply onto the given test case, and we used to get the probability prediction based on the classes that we have. A similar way, here it is giving you a graphical model. It is telling there is something which is displayed to you, and from there you extract the data and come up with a solution. Rather than giving you a training data, I'll give a pictorial representation to you. From the pictorial representation, you come up and give me the exact classification model. So it provides a probabilistic graphical representation model representing the conditional dependencies between random variables. It means that what is the dependency of one node to the other or one instance to the other. We did the same thing, right? We checked out, okay, outlook, humidity, temperature, windy, right? We were checking out each and everything, how we can create the next or each and every instances, how it is going to react to the final predicting model. So even here, when we are given with the graphs, we are going to check, okay, whether the previous, it is going to be a directed graph, whether that graph has an implication on the other node, whether some other node has an implication of the given node. Okay. So we are going to check its conditional dependencies, okay, between random variables through a directed acyclic graph. A very, very important, it's going to be G here, DAG, okay. It's a directed acyclic graph. It is a very, very important one, okay. It's a directed acyclic graph. They will give you this directed acyclic graph and we have to extract its conditional dependencies. We have to identify its inference. What one variable is going to apply onto the other variable, okay. Let us see what does this graph has. So the graph has nodes and arcs. We have the nodes and we have the arcs that is giving connectivity to the other, okay. The nodes represents the variables. Whatever the nodes that we consider, they represent the variables, which can be either discrete or continuous. Those values of it can be discrete or continuous. And the arcs represent the causal relationship between the variables. When I tell arcs, okay, there's some relationship between these two nodes. When I have A and B and I have an arc connected to it, obviously there's a relationship between those two variables. So what kind of inference is it happening? We'll be checking out that with Bayesian belief networks. This is an example of the acyclic graph, the directed acyclic graph. So I'm going to tell the value of A is actually dependent on the value of B because I have something which is projecting towards A. Again, the value of C is dependent on value of B. And value of C is dependent again on value of A, which internally is dependent on B. Okay. The conditional dependencies between these random variables is what we will be looking ahead as a probability. Okay. What are these terminologies? So I have few terminologies that I've specified. X1, X2, X3, so on up to Xn are nodes. I have nodes X1, X2, X3. I have all the nodes scattered, okay, up to Xn, which are my variables. And the relationship between variables are normally the arcs that we do. There is something which is called as causality representations, the directions. Which way? You have an arc, the direction. So it is going to tell, okay, there's some relationship between these two variables, okay, the causality relationship. The conditional independence relationship, okay, conditional independence relationship. Have a note on this. I will give you a theoretical part of it as well as how do we practically see that in an example. Okay, conditional independence relationship. What is it? Dependent or independent? What is its relationship? We're going to check for that. Okay, so the Bayesian belief networks, it has, they will give you a pictorial representation. They will give you input variables. You have to draw the directed acyclic graph. If they give you the directed acyclic graph, from there you have to calculate the conditional probability table. Okay, we'll check what is this. We're going to create, have in mind, When the table is given to us, when the input variable is given to us, we have to calculate the conditional probability table. First thing that we have to do with this is identify the conditional probability table, okay? And then we're going to identify the inference of it. Two major things that we will be performing: conditional probability table and the inference. I'll tell you what that means and a theoretical proof for that, what that exactly indicates to us. Okay, so inference is basically we are computing the probabilities using, okay, there is something which we use it telling that the probability of all the particular nodes in the directed acyclic graph given to us, x1 to xn, is basically a product of the probability of xi, all these variables with respect to its parent's node. In this graph, can you let me, who is the parent of C? The node C, who can take up the parent of node C?
Both A and B?
Yes. So both A and B takes the parent of node C. So here the probability of C, okay, is gonna be dependent on the probabilities are like on the parents of its nodes, which is A and B. That is what your Bayesian belief networks are. That is, this definition actually tells us it's a product of P of Xi, okay, whatever the node that you're taking, which is dependent on its parent nodes of xi, the parents of those xi, okay. Suppose it's just an example that I'm giving here, x1 to xm. I'll take the probability of xi, the first one, probability of x2 being x1 the parent. Again, probability of x2 being x1 into x2 plus so on up to xn minus of 1. Okay, let me give you an example. There are some theory over here. I'll come back to the theory later. Okay, first let us solve the problem. This is one of the problem that has been given to us. The problem is apply Bayesian belief networks and calculate the probabilities for the given network. See here, you will just have only the nodes. The other arcs that is given to you, you will not have it. You have to calculate the conditional probability table. I told you we have to do two things. One is conditional probability table and the second one is inference. So I have to perform two things. For me, with respect to the graph that will be given is only these things. I'll be having late wake up, accident, a rainy day, traffic jam, meeting postponed, late for meeting, and this. I'll have these nodes given to me with only the arcs. That's it. Nothing else would be given to me. I have to come up calculating it. How do I do it? Example, let me take. Okay, today I have to come to office and I woke up late in the morning. Okay, I woke up late in the morning. Along with that, it was actually raining and there was an accident that happened over the road. Again, it got late for me. So normally, these are the situations when you are into a traffic jam. Traffic jam normally occurs with respect to whether it is raining because the roads are not that good, so you'll just get stuck up with your vehicles and you just have a jam, so you can't move ahead. And it can be basically there's a breakdown on the road. Again, you're stuck. Since I'm late to since I woke up late and I had all of these conditions that came up, I'm late to office. Since I'm late to office, I was late to a meeting or I was late to take the class. And since I was late to class, I postponed the class. Or since I came late, it automatically the class got postponed by someone else, or I tried to occupy someone. Okay, this is the scenario that we have for today. Okay, now this scenario, I'm going to consider what are its dependencies, okay, and what are its probabilities. To identify the probabilities, first what I'll do is, if you have a single node which does not have a parent node, okay, first step is if you have a single node which does not have a parent node, you will have this is not having a parent node. Okay, you can see there's no parent node for the rainy day. I'm going to write the direct condition as true. For this rainy day, there's only one possible option telling it is true. You do not have any other possibilities, true or false. No, only true. So I have one probability that my rainy day can take up, that is the true value. Okay, then again I will go ahead. Oh, there is one more late wake up which does not have a parent node. So when this does not have a parent node, I again will consider that it is having only one possible value, and that is the true possibility. So I'll write it as true possibility and 1. So this is again my second probability with respect to late wake up. Then again I'll go one after the other. The third one, you can see here, There is no parent node for this. So I will write only one single probability for this as well. Okay. If suppose I have a parent node, okay, if I have one parent node, I will have two possibilities. If I have two parent nodes, I'll have four possibilities. Okay. So if I have, so this is having one parent node. So I have one parent node to accident. It is telling since it was rainy, there was an accident that happened. There's a dependency. So when it is dependency, on what it is dependent? It is dependent on the rainy day. Okay. It is dependent on not raining. That is, it is dependent on the true or the false option. That's what I'm telling. When I have one parent node, I'll be writing the true and false of that parent node. So I'll have two possible options. If I have two parent nodes, for those two parent nodes, I have to have 2 and 2 options, which is totally 4. Okay. This condition, it has 2 here, 1 true and 1 false. Let me consider the other. Example is the traffic jam here. The traffic jam has 2 parent nodes. One is here and one is from the rainy day. So traffic jam, normally it is telling it is dependent on the accident rate as well as the rainy count. Okay, so it is going to be the traffic jam is dependent on these two conditions. So how do we write that? I have 4 possible outputs. One is with respect to accident telling true or false. And the other one is going to be with respect to the rain, because it's a rainy day, it's going to be true or false. So true, false, true, false. Okay. So I have this with respect to the traffic jam. So 4 possible options. 2 was with respect to accident and 2 is with respect to rain. So 4 possible options. Then next, again, I'll come up to the other dependencies. I have again, there are 2 parent nodes, one parent node from late wake up and one parent node from traffic jam. Since I'm late to work, 2 options. I woke up late in the morning and I'm stuck up in the traffic. So they are the 2 reasons that I did not reach college in time. Okay. So when I tell these 2 options, right? So again, since I have 2 parent nodes, I'll have 4 possible options. I'm writing 4 possible options with respect to traffic jam, true or false, late wake up, true or false. Okay. And from here again, I'm going to go to the next node, which is called as my final load here, late for meeting. I did not take my class in time. So I'll have 2 possibilities for that. One is because I was late for work, or I can tell, okay, the meeting postponed it. So with these 2, again, I have 4. Since I have 2 parent nodes, I have 4 values for that. I'm going to write it as 4. What are those values? Late wake up, it has true or false. Postpone meeting, postpone it, I have true or false. Okay. This is how you first calculate the probabilities, conditional probabilities. Okay. So now let us count how much we have. Can you count and let me, what are the possibilities? That is the probability values here, total probabilities of this graph. Two, 3, 7, 8. Come on.
Ma'am, 17.
Yes. So we have a total of 17 possible values. I hope is this clear? How do we interpret a graph? Is it clear? I'll go ahead with the next.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. I'll clear this. Okay. I'm going to clear the drawing. Okay. Let me scroll down. The similar one I'm writing over here. Okay. Conditional probabilities in a statement. Okay. Okay, with respect to the above given graph, we know that we have 17 possible values, and all the 17 possible values, I'm going to display it over here. This is the step 2. The step 1 is what is the number of probabilities? I write it over there in the graph and I get the possibility value. I'm pictorially representing, okay, what is the conditional probabilities? Each and every step you can see. This is the conditional probability that I'm going to come up with. How is it? A rainy day, we had a true value, one single. What were the, okay, now let's recall our test. What were the nodes which did not have parent node? Let's see how much we can recall.
Rainy day and late wake up.
We had one more.
Meeting postponed.
Yes. So we have 3 values there. So all those three values, I'm just writing it as true. For a rainy day, it is true. For late wake up, it is true. And I think meeting postponed is also true. The below one, I've written it over there. So all three I've written as true. For the accident, we had two parent nodes. One was accident, we had one parent node. That was a rainy day, an arc like this. From the rainy day, we had one parent node, which was rainy day. So what I'm writing is, with respect to rainy, it is an accident. With respect to not rainy, it's an accident. There are two possible cases. So because you see here, this is accident and I had a rainy day and this was towards this. So which means from rainy to accident, from rainy to accident, from not rainy to accident, two possible options. I'm pictorially representing over here, writing it. Again, late wake up, we have seen traffic jam had two. So we have total four possible options. So here it was like this. I had traffic jam and I had like this. So when I tell traffic jam, it was A to T. So it's going to be accident to traffic jam, not accident to traffic jam. Again, from rainy to traffic jam, rainy to traffic jam, not rainy to traffic jam. Okay. So late for work, again, we had two things. One was from here, late for work. One was from here. So I'll write it as LW. Okay, so from traffic jam for late for work. Okay, and again, not traffic jam for late for work. And since again, I had one more parent node which was coming towards here was late wake up. I'll just write LU. Okay, late wake up. Okay, so since it was like this, I'm going to write it as late wake up to late to work. Not late wake up to late to work. Okay, let me just clear this again and come down. So we have the last two, which was late for meeting. The last term which we had, we connected it to late for work. So late for work to late for meeting, not late for work to late for meeting. Meeting postponed, and finally we have the true. So we have all possible values that we have written it pictorially. Okay. Now after that, what I'm doing here is the final important step here comes your inference. Inference is the same thing I've written down over here, all the attribute values and its corresponding probability values. Okay. Here, the number of parent nodes that is been influencing the variable. Okay, we had two parent nodes which is influencing that variable, right? We are going to consider the probability of that and calculate more with respect to that. So from the above conditional probability, find out the inference. How do I find out the inference? You can see here, how do I do it? So I'm going to consider, since they are more with respect to the parent nodes, it has 2 and 2. So we have 4 possible options. I'm going to write these 4 possible options over here. And I'm going to start writing it. How do I write it? So let's consider the traffic jam. The traffic jam was dependent on, one was with the accident and the other one was with the rainy, right? And the rainy was in turn with respect to the attribute. Okay, first let's consider these two. The traffic jam. Traffic, it is A and B. That is A and R. Okay. So the probability of traffic jam, we already had seen the inference equation calculation. Like how do we calculate the probabilities, the posterior probabilities with respect to inference? It was that particular node, the probability of that particular node with respect to its parent nodes, right? Similar, I'm applying it over here. The probability of traffic jam, with respect to the parent node accident and the parent node rainy day. You can see the parent node accident and the parent of the rainy day, along with the probability of accident and the probability of rainy day. This is my inference. That is, it is dependent on the parent node. This is very important. This is very, very important on the accident and on the rainy, because they are my parents. Parent of traffic jam. So it's going to be probability of traffic jam is equal to probability of traffic jam with respect to accident and the rainy along with the probability of accident and the probability of the rainy day. It's its parents, right? So I'm going to consider its probability as well. This is basically what we call it as inference. How one particular node, okay, is influenced by its parent nodes. So what are the inferences of those parent nodes on the actual variable, on the child node? Okay, so this is what we call it to be as inference. So I've considered for traffic jam. Now I'll be considering for late for work. Late for work was with respect to, I had one late work and I had one more parent node for this, which was late wake up. So I'll be writing late for work. The probability of late for work is equal to probability of late for work with respect to its parent node traffic along with late wake up into probability of late for traffic jam, that is late for probability of traffic jam into probability of late wake up. Okay. And the third one is late for meeting. It is late for meeting with respect to late for work because I had late for work and the meeting postponed because I had one thing over here, another one more here. So it was late for work and the meeting postponed. So it was along with the probability of late for work and meeting postponed. So we have all these three things now: late for meeting, late for work, late for traffic jam. With the graph that was given to us, we have come up with first conditional independence we calculated. Second one is the inferences with respect to that. This is a very, very important problem. They can give you any graph and they will ask you identify the conditional probabilities and get to know the inferences of it. So you have to perform all of these steps. Clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll go ahead.
I have a doubt.
Yes.
Why are we not calculating inference for rainy day accident and the other
because
one?
Because it has only one possible values. It has only one possible values. I can calculate for that as well. But there are no two probable. Like see, this rainy day obviously does not have any parent node. So inference with respect to parent node does not come into picture. Even for this, it does not come into picture. Even for this, it does not come into picture. Only thing is with respect to accident. So if I write probability, I can calculate it with respect to accident as well. Probability of accident is equal to probability of accident with respect to rainy day. It's just one single argument. So there's it does not make any much more difference. It's the same. So I can include.
So we should have at least a minimum 4 probability.
Yes. It's not about minimum 4 probability, how much inference it has. So I'll tell you, you can even include, okay, whenever you have a problem that is given to it, even include this as well. There's nothing wrong in it. But why we took up major is we have two parent nodes where it has more inferences. So I've written these three possible options. You can even write this as well.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
It's having a less inference. That's it. With respect to the graph, actually, these are the three things which has more inference comparatively to the others. That's why I just specified this. You can include it, not an issue. Okay?
Yes, ma'am, understood.
Yeah. Okay. So let me clear this for now. And we have one more problem that I wanted to solve. Okay. Yeah, we have some more time yet. So I think I can solve this problem. Okay. So the second problem is, oh yeah, 1 second. Let me finish the theory. I have the theory that I want to finish, right? And then I'll solve. Anyways, we have 10 minutes only to close this. So I'll finish the theory. And then again, when we rejoin, I'll take up the new problem. Okay. So the theory was here. So I hope we have understood this part, right? The product of probability of that particular node with respect to its parents into the probability of those parent nodes. We'll be writing all of them. Okay. And the theory part is conditional dependence. Okay. We have something which we call it as, let us consider an arbitrary set of random variables. Here, rather than x1, x2, x3, I'm having y1, y2, y3, so on up to yn, where each is a variable yi and can take any possible values. Okay, so it's going to be V of yi. I'm going to just represent that. It's going to take any possible values, okay, the probabilities of it. So V of yi. Now I will call this as a joint space. The graph that we had, right, that we have displayed it, we'll consider that to be as a joint space where I'm going to write, okay, the probability of, or I'll write, it is going to be together, all of those nodes, okay. So we that is the yi, y2, so on up to yn is a joint space. I'll represent this as a joint space. Each and every node, I'm going to consider that to be as a joint space. The probability distribution over this joint space, because I'm going to take the because when I have all the directed graph of it and I have everything given to me, and when I get the probability distributions of each and everything that we did now, each and everything we took separately, we calculated the probability, right? The probability distribution over this joint space, we call it to be as joint probability distribution. When we apply to everything, we call it to be as joint probability distribution. Let's consider what is this conditional independence. Okay, it is not that tricky to understand, but it is just a logic. We have already seen conditional dependence. Okay, here it is telling conditional independence. Conditional independence, I'll tell, let x, y, and z be three discrete random variables. Okay, there are three discrete random variables, x, y, and z, and they are telling x is conditionally independent of y. X is conditionally independent, so it does not have nothing to do with it. Okay, x is conditionally independent of y given z. If the probability distribution governing x is independent of the value of y given for the value z, that is, if you can see here, I have three values here, x1, that is xi, yj, and zk. There are three values. I'm writing capital X belongs to x1. So this is going to be x. This is going to be y. This is going to be z. He's telling this is going to be conditionally independent of y. Okay. Independent of y. If I tell that it does not, it's suppose this is not the parent node of it. Just consider, we have already seen what parent node works. If this is not the parent node of it, so it's conditional independent of y given z. I have a z term along with it. Okay. If the probability distribution governing x, this probability distribution of x is independent of y given such that I can directly write that as this x is actually dependent on this. I will just directly tell, since this is independent, I'm going to take away this. I do not need which is independent. Okay, but it has a value for z as well along with x, though this is independent, but there's a value along with x which we get it. So which means that it is dependent. So I'm directly writing it as P of xi divided by, that is a bar which tells it's independent on z is equal to zk. Here, when they tell this is independent, which means it is no more related to the context that we are talking about, I will remove that part. So this is what we call it as conditional independence. This is conditional dependence. We have already seen how the parent node is dependent. We calculate those dependencies as well, right? So that is what about this. This is not that, what do you call it? There's just a logic in it. If you get the logic, it's easy for you to understand. So we have already seen the example and we are applying that onto this. Okay. There are two more. So there's one which Copper in 1990, he has term telling that exact inference of probabilities in general for an arbitrary Bayesian network is known to be NP hard. Okay. It's just a terminology that the Copper in 1990 was the one who developed this, and when he started coining it, he coined it as NP hard, stating that identifying the exact inferences of probabilities given with respect to the Bayesian network, we call it to be as NP hard. I thought it can be an added on point into your notes, so I've just put that. Bayesian network can be used to compute the probability distribution for any subset of network variables given the values or distributions of any subset of the remaining variables. In the sense, I can identify the probabilities of it with respect to a subset of network variables. There are certain variables that is given to it. And if it is with respect to a directed graph, okay, and I know the distribution values of it, I can easily get those probability values. When I have the directed graphs that is given to me, and I know, okay, this is how I can start with the probabilities. Once I get to know this directed graph itself, I can start applying with respect to identifying the probabilities for the given Bayesian network. That's what it is. Okay. So we have 3 more minutes. And this is one of the problem that I wanted to solve for you guys. Can you write down this problem? Meanwhile, I want you to write down this problem in your book.